Hey there, aspiring achievers. How often do you do the prep work for your tasks? And do you even know what I mean by prep work? Most people I know really dislike the prep work, and they just want to get down to doing the task. They even feel that the prep work is a waste of their time because it isn't getting the job done. And they're short on time as it is, so this is just seen as a non-essential thing to do. But is it really? Everything in life needs prep work and maintenance. If you're the cook in your family or your home, you need to prep the meal before you can make it and then eat it. If you're going to work on an art project, you need to prep and make sure that you have all the supplies that you need for your project before you embark, or you'll be running out to the store or aborting the project when you find out that you don't have what you need. What about leading a meeting at work? Do you just show up and talk, or do you need to prep for the meeting so you stay on topic for the purpose of the meeting and are clear on what you're going to present? Like I said, prep work and maintenance is just part of life. Prep work can include many of the executive function skills or executive function pre-skills. And if you don't have solid pre-skills, then building your executive function skills on a flimsy foundation isn't going to get you sustainable results. The 3 executive function pre-skills that I feel are essential are your relationship with time and how you manage yourself and time itself, procrastination and how you eliminate it from your life, and decision-making, since you're making decisions every day and sometimes all day long. Do you trust yourself with time and the decisions that you make? Have you eliminated procrastination from your life? Most people that I know don't have a great relationship with time. They feel that it slips away, that they're always running to keep up with the passing of time, that they can't even trust themselves to be on time for things and keep a very loose schedule, if any at all, just in case they want to do something else. They want to leave their options open. That might be an interesting strategy as a teenager, but for an adult with certain responsibilities such as a job or children, or even looking after themselves, leaving your options open to see what happens or what shows up isn't the best strategy if you want to achieve specific outcomes. It's been said by many that those with ADHD are immature. The dictionary defines immature as having or showing an emotional or an intellectual development appropriate to someone younger. In other words, not fully developed. After working with adults with or without ADHD, but definitely sporting underdeveloped executive function skills, I can see how we are immature because we haven't been shaped or shaped ourselves into a mature, responsible, yet fun-loving adult who enjoys every moment of their life. Does this sound like pie in the sky? It's not. You can be both responsible and spontaneous if you learn how to balance both and integrate them into your life.
Welcome to the Living Beyond ADHD podcast. If you're looking for a fresh perspective and actionable steps on hot topics from focus to follow-through to self-management and more, you are in the right place. Welcome your host, innovative educator, coach, and psychotherapist, Dr. B.
Some of you aren't succeeding as fully as you might because you're missing pre-skills. If I were to assess your executive function skills, such as planning or scheduling or inhibiting or task monitoring, you might score just fine. It happens. However, if you are still not at the top of your game, Maybe you jumped ahead and developed the essential executive function skills, but skipped over the executive function pre-skills because you didn't see the value or the importance of them. And now you're suffering because of that decision. There's a specific order to the development of skills, both pre-skills and core skills. This is true because they build on, as well as integrate with, each other. Learning something as a standalone is expecting yourself to learn it, remember it, and actually use it when and where it's needed. That's different than coming to know something and integrating it so it becomes an automatic part of you. As children, we need scaffold support. Think of a two-wheeler bicycle with training wheels. We need the training wheels in the beginning. Then we can take them off or bring them up higher or have a parent running behind us. And the parent is close by, and then they're further and further away. This is scaffold learning. They're not going to let us fall. We have the support until we don't need it. And that's how I structure what I teach because I know that it works. This is how we learn. This is what we need. And we have to undo the things that we learned that have allowed us to cope, but not to succeed. Instead, we need to install new things that allow us to do better. It takes time to unlearn and relearn and integrate for a sustainable, successful life. For things to change, you have to change. And it is definitely an inside job. And when you change in this way, you're changing for life. Another pre-skill area that you might have skipped over are your limiting beliefs and your outdated identities. You cannot outperform your limiting beliefs or your outdated identities. And so that could be another area that's holding you back, even if your core executive function skills are doing okay. Back in the 1970s, I worked in doctors' offices for about 10 years while I was attending university. I learned a lot about what happens there and how I can apply it to my work life to benefit you. As Dr. B, I never work with an adult that I don't know anything about. How could I do so effectively? I ask about your symptoms or your problems in my intake or opt-in forms. Those of you who really want my help, share your journey with me. And when you describe your symptoms, you're usually specific. You tell me when they started, what it feels like, how it impacts your life, what you've done thus far to help yourself, what has or hasn't worked, and what you'd like to have happen now. Then I, quote, diagnose you based on your problems. I'm using the word diagnose loosely here because I'm not working as a therapist when I work online. I tell you what you have based on my years of expertise and assessments. You most likely feel a sense of relief. Of course you would. And now you know what you need to address. We can create a plan for you. Additionally, the problem now becomes a part of your identity, at least in the beginning. You get told what you have, and you start thinking, I have underdeveloped executive function skills or pre-skills. It's who you are. You're someone with this condition, and you now know what specifically needs to be addressed. When I am, quote, diagnosing you, you may feel an instant feeling of I need to address this. I need to resolve this. When you get diagnosed by your doctor, you may feel a need for medicine or solution. Same here. You may feel a need for my solution. And I then offer you my solution. However, I don't offer you my solution until I ask about your symptoms and, quote, diagnose your problem. When the doctor describes the problem and why it's happening, we feel relieved and we feel understood. The doctor brings high levels of awareness, value, and realization for you, and you feel a need for that solution. Many of you have been following me for years now. You listen to my podcast, you read my emails and newsletters, and yet you don't take action on the opportunities for improvement that I'm offering you. I got to thinking about it and had these thoughts about what holds you back from getting your needs met. It's truly a double bind because you need some of the pre-skills that I'm talking about to take action and trust your decision. If you are overwhelmed and your strategies and habits aren't sustainable and don't get you the changes that you want, I know that you are likely doing one of the following: getting less than an optimal amount of sleep needed, which mimics ADHD, spending way more time working than you should to be able to live a balanced life, putting your needs last because you have too much on your plate, hating getting up in the morning because it's more of the same grind, having things fall through the cracks due to lack of daily follow-through. I also know that because of those mistakes you are experiencing, you burn out as you try to function on 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night or less. You focus on things as they come in rather than prioritizing by criteria. You resent that you never get time for things that you want for yourself. You have a kind of flatness in your life, questioning your path forward and why. You experience hopelessness that your life will never get better than it currently is. I know this because I've been there. I also know this because I know how to resolve it, and I know how to resolve it in multiple ways for all kinds of people who are experiencing these challenges. I've worked with hundreds of adults over my 35 plus years of expertise. I even facilitated a meetup group over 10 years ago to test out strategies and ideas that I had to see how they worked in a group and how they benefited members of the group each time we met. From there, I had evidence of what would benefit my students, plus more. In time, I've learned releasing your limiting beliefs and replacing them with empowering ones is essential. Upgrading your outdated identities and replacing them with who you need to be is essential. How you manage yourself in time, as well as time itself, is essential. How you understand and address your procrastination is essential. How you determine your decisions must be solid before you act on them. Many of you ask me if my GSD program is self-paced or structured, and it's because some of you need greater flexibility to move at your own pace, and others want the structure of a pace that I've tested for the past 6+ years and found to be effective for the development of the skills we focus on. So, depending on your needs, you have several options. The best way I've found to help you to gain clarity with your decisions, since decision-making is a pre-skill, and many of you are most likely challenged with this pre-skill, is to make myself available to chat with you and discuss what's going on in your life, what's challenging you, what's stopping you from achieving your goals, and what you're seeking to resolve the situation and move forward in your life. And then we can talk about both GSD programs, fundamentals and essentials, so you can know the benefits of each and which is a better fit for you, if it's a fit at all. I think of this chat as a clarity call. I want you to make an informed decision rather than just dismiss this amazing opportunity because the copy doesn't explain well enough what's awaiting you. Or You think this is just another program that someone's pitching, and it won't do much for you, just like all the rest of the things that you've tried over the years. It costs you nothing but 30 minutes of your time to gain clarity about this, and if it is what you've needed for the years and years of time. And if we determine together that neither GSD program is a good fit for you, there's always the Transformation Club to consider, time permitting. Otherwise, we can get it arranged so that you can speak with an amazing person on my team about TTC and determine together if that's what you need. If you've been playing around with attempting to change your life without changing yourself from the inside out, you're most likely struggling and making this harder on yourself than it needs to be. And if you don't have a roadmap and a blueprint to follow, it's going to be even harder. One of the reasons I created 2 options for my signature program, GSD, is because everyone's needs are different. Some of you might just want the fundamentals, while others want the fundamentals and the essentials. And now you can get even more time in the full program for no additional cost if you want to get started in the fundamentals now and then upgrade to the full program in a couple of months. If you've never had your executive function skills assessed, I highly recommend my free PDF, 13 Signs Weak Executive Functioning is Holding You Back. This is a good starting point to gain some insights into your level of development or deficit so you can understand what's been holding you back and potentially dysregulating you. I use a more comprehensive executive function skill assessment for the students in my GSD FE program because I want to know more in-depth information with the students I work with. However, the free PDF that I've created is definitely a good starting place for everyone. You can grab your copy from my website and the links in the show notes. I often refer to the human being as Golden Buddha and the human doing as your stuff. Who you are is a given, and it's your mission, should you choose to accept it, to clear away your stuff so you can shine brightly as your Golden Buddha self. Think of the baby within you. What he or she did was get born. That's it. And yet people are in awe of the baby simply because they are here. You are that precious child of the universe, and you're called a human being, not a human doing, for good reason. As a human being, you don't have to earn your value because you were born with it. Your value comes from who you're being, not what you're doing, which means if you focus on being the highest expression of what resides within you, you can wake up every day with your value 100%. You may still be developing your doing abilities, yet as a being, you are enough. And that's a great win to celebrate every day of your life. Speaking of wins, what's it going to be for you today? Did you spend a little time consciously focusing on the beauty of the day? That's wonderful. Perhaps you complimented yourself on a great job that you did on your term paper for school. That's awesome. Maybe you've enrolled in a class on something that you wanted to learn to do for years, like glass blowing. That's such a gift to yourself. Congratulations on each and every one of your wins, big and small. They all deserve your wholehearted celebrating. Yes, wow, thank you. You're honoring yourself every day, and not many people do so. We all have daily wins if we pay attention and we look for them, and I'm hopeful that you're looking and celebrating them all. How much time do we have? Not much. So let's get to it.
This podcast is sponsored by Pure Potential with Dr. B. You can head over to drbarbaracohen.com and find the podcast episodes and transcripts. Great free content, plus information on programs and products, including the groundbreaking online Adventures in Achievement Foundational Skills Training and Coaching Program. You can also learn about Dr. B's masterclasses on decision-making, time management, and banishing procrastination. That's drbarbaracohen.com.
The purpose of a guide is to ensure that you safely navigate your way on a journey. They point out unsafe areas and direct you on the path so you safely and effectively make your way and have an enjoyable experience. I feel the same way about my role as your guide, and I love guiding those feeling a little or very lost to the solutions that will serve them at the highest level. What an honor that is for me. First up is time management. There are so many books that are written about time management, and yet people still have problems with it. I've discovered that time management isn't just about time. It's about your relationship with time, your beliefs about time, and your management of yourself within time. Since time is a part of every day of your life, without this pre-skill, you may find yourself running out of time, getting behind on tasks, and feeling like you're chasing your tail, so to speak, every day. Second up is banishing procrastination. Do you function in the now and not now world? Is it something that's supposed to be now, but it got bumped by something else that just happened to pop up and get your attention? Procrastination is a common occurrence, and yet it can be devastating depending on what you procrastinate on. It is possible to banish it from your life and live procrastination-free when you understand why it occurs and how to address it. And then there's decision-making, which is a part of your day-to-day life. Were you taught a solid methodology for making decisions and knowing that they're good decisions before you even act on them? I know I wasn't. I was taught the Ben Franklin pros and cons list and make a decision from that list. Definitely not a method I use because there's not enough information there to confidently make a decision. I found that by knowing values, criteria, who the decision impacts, timelines, and such, the decisions that I know are good decisions, they practically make themselves. No more self-doubt or second-guessing yourself when you have a great methodology to work with. So, are you settling in your life because you didn't know there was anything better for you to look forward to and achieve? And do you want to continue to settle for less than you deserve? Or do you want to feel good about your executive function pre-skills? How's your follow-through? I ask because task completion is start to finish, the complete task. And many people only have a partial image in their mind of what the complete task actually is, which is why they don't complete their tasks. And they think it's follow-through. But there's imagery and there's the action. I'll use the example of the free PDF about your executive function skills. It's easy to opt in and get your copy delivered to your inbox. However, the value comes from actually downloading your copy and then reading it, reflecting on what you learn, and applying what you gain from that PDF. Just grabbing it is of no benefit to you. The same is true for the free GSD or TTC roadmaps. You may see them and think they're pretty, and you want one, and so you opt in. However, you don't check from your inbox for your copy to download it and review it. and you don't watch the free training video and benefit from that information. And lastly, you don't invest 30 minutes of your time on a call with me to gain clarity about your situation and find out if I can really help you. When is the last time that you got to speak to someone with over 35 years of expertise successfully helping people like you? Years ago, I had a very untrained mind, just like yours, and wouldn't follow through on the entire task because my internal images were all messed up and incomplete. Maybe yours are too. I know that so many of you want quick fixes to eliminate the immediate pain and suffering, and yet you're going to be seeking quick fixes and hacks for the rest of your life because the pain and suffering returns and you have to fix it again and again and again. How many years have you been doing that? Wouldn't you rather transform yourself and your life just this once and have sustainability for the rest of your life? Whatever your challenges, whatever your needs, we've got you covered. Structure, systems, support, community, transformation. From my perspective, there are two important questions to ask yourself to know if your needs are taken care of. Do you have a roadmap and a blueprint to become the person you need to be in order to have what you want to have and do what you want to do? If your answer is yes, that's wonderful. If your answer is no, I encourage you to get a free copy of the GSD roadmap, watch the free training that comes with it, and then book a call with me to chat about your needs and if this is a good fit for you. No pressure, just honest feedback. I love talking with people. If you know you have deficits, what are they costing you? And what will the further cost be to you if you don't do something about them now? Heads up for those of you living in the UK. I say that because if you live in the UK and you're interested in the GSD program, but finances are an issue, there's a grant assistance program through Access to Work that just might provide the funding for you. It has for a number of my students. In fact, I'm offering a free workshop on May 25th, this Thursday, for those of you in the UK who might need help completing your application for Access to Work. If you've gotten your GSD roadmap, you should also have received an email inviting you to register for the upcoming workshop on the 25th of May. And if you live in Australia or Ireland or other places, there may also be funding to help you access the GSD program. To learn more about what might be available to you if you live in those areas, check the page on my website, links in the show notes. And while you're waiting for your grant assistance to come through, if this applies to you, consider coming into the Transformation Club to start your executive function skill transformation with other like-minded adults from around the world. Life is precious, and time even more so. We all get a certain amount of time here, and when that time is up, it's up. Are you living like you have all the time in the world? Because if you are, you don't. Time doesn't wait for any of us to be ready. It just keeps passing along. I learned a long time ago that my life won't wait forever for me to be ready to embrace it and live it to the fullest. If I want that life, I have to take action to get ready and live it. If you resonate with what I share and my approach, and you'd like to benefit from more than just my podcast show, you have those options now. The decision is yours to make because the years are going to pass no matter what you decide. It's really the choice of what you're going to put into the years rather than them just being passing years filled with frustration or regret. Time is definitely our most precious asset. since it's not something we can ever get back. No matter how you spend your time, it's gone. This is a huge price to pay for hesitation or indecision. Do something to move forward. Take some positive action today. The doors to the opportunities in our lifetime just don't stay open forever. I say this because I've waited in the past and doors have closed that I wish could open up again, and they can't. A favorite quote of mine, Tony Robbins said, "It is in the moments of decision that your destiny is shaped." What a perfect quote for this episode that includes decision-making, procrastination, and time management. Are you intentionally shaping your destiny, or are you leaving it to chance? Do you continuously put your needs second and everybody else's first? Is that giving you a destiny that excites you? If you found value in this episode, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. Our mission is to help as many people as possible transform their lives. And when you leave a positive review, more people can find this podcast. Just click where it says ratings and reviews and write a review. And tell me what your favorite part of this podcast episode is, or any other one that you love. Thank you so much. If you're loving the podcast and you would like to speak with me about possibly working with me, you'll find all the transformative opportunities listed in the show notes. Let's get clarity together on a call. All you have to do is reach out so we can chat. There are real solutions to the challenges that you're experiencing, so please reach out. I'd love to speak with you. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Be mindful and intentional with your decisions. Time is definitely your most precious asset, and your life won't wait forever. I would love to help you realize a new freedom. That is, if that's of interest to you. Thanks for listening. Until the next time, bye for now.
Thanks so much for listening today. If you're eager to make positive changes in your life and stop overwhelm and confusion from derailing you, head over to drbarbaracohen.com and see how Dr. B can help you today. Whether you love learning in an online group environment with personalized coaching or prefer the pace of guided self-study, Dr. B offers the skills, strategies, and individual support you need. Get started on your journey today by visiting the website at drbarbaracohen.com.